Yo, good morning, everyone. Episode 3 of the Dez N Cy podcast. Welcome back. We are on 3 already, getting ready for game 3. Naturally, we're just going to have to roll with the 3s. So, welcome to our third person today on our podcast. My man, the Atlanta transplant in Oregon, Jarreau, a.k.a. Professional, a.k.a. he got so many analogies for you. It's just gonna flow on. AKA, exactly. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, man? How you doing? Good morning. Man, early for you.
Game 1, early start, man. But I'm hyped. Game 1 tonight.
Yeah, that's why we brought him on. So we got game 1 tonight, and Rose Atlanta through and through. So we want to get a little perspective for game 1. But before we do that, if you've listened to the 1 and 2 so far, you know we got to do the intros. I'm sure my man Ro has listened and he's ready. He's ready to give me his player comp. So, Ro, with that said, I'm gonna switch it up on you. I know you're ready, so I'm gonna give you a little
curveball.
A little curveball, exactly. So, Ro, here you go. Describe to the listeners, if you will, your player comp on the All-Star game, the Celebrity All-Star game.
Ooh.
Who are you on the Celebrity All-Star game?
Such an asinine question.
I know, because I'm trying to think where I want to go with it. Because I'm definitely not the Kevin Hart, where I'm actually going to try to win MVP. Definitely not. I think I'm whichever rapper's on there.
Okay, so you can be Quavo. I'll give you Quavo if you want to.
I could, but I'm probably like, the thing is, it depends on which day you catch me. Okay. I could look like Quavo one day. Like, the next day it's like
Monday, Tuesday off a fresh weekend, you're not Quavo.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday going into a weekend with a solid haircut, you're Quavo.
Exactly.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the haircut probably determines a lot.
So haircut does, yeah. No, that actually helps.
Yeah. Or I could be like kind of like Travis Scott level.
Okay. Like, the celebrity that sits on the side, we're not sure if he could really play or not.
Exactly.
I respect that. Okay, so well, first off, welcome. Really happy to have you.
Yeah,
hopefully we can make you a common guest. But with that said, I want to jump into before we Suns is going to come. We'll get to that. But game 1 is actually today. Hawks versus Bucks. We've seen a lot of cool things in the past. This Hawks team is just a surprise. They're almost the Suns of the East, if you will, right? Like they are blowing expectations out the water. They're doing it when they aren't expected to do it, and they're in a position to legitimately get to a finals. So, Ro, with that said, I want to hear. Not necessarily just to start us off. I want to get a little fan perspective of what's been some of your favorite moments of the playoffs and who has kind of shined where you weren't really expecting them to.
Man, I think honestly, for starters, I was not really I hadn't let it go that we didn't pick Luka for a while. And then after the first series against the Knicks, my goal as a fan, I was like, I just want to see 5 playoff wins. I was like, we should beat the Knicks.
Okay.
And
that feels.
Don't get swept in the next round. That'd be cool. So after the Knicks series, I was just like, you know what? I just got to fully lean into the trade thing, man. Like, it's going to be a cool 10 years. We might not win a championship, but it'd be dope. I've been a big, probably after his rookie season, big Kevin Hart fan. So Game 7.
Red Velvet's your guy? You liking it?
Yes. Love it. Really, that's kind of the main reason why I bought in when I found out they were calling him Red Velvet.
Great nickname, by the way.
Yeah, know, right? Between that and just kind of enjoying laughing at the Pacers for letting go of Nate McMillan.
Okay, I was about to get really mad at you if you didn't bring up Nate McMillan. Like, how do you not love that guy? What a stupid move.
Because if you watched them a lot earlier in the season, even when they were under 500, I think they were missing DeAndre Hunter.
Yes.
Fractured his knee.
And Gallinari. Gallinari was out as well, I believe.
Yeah, Trey missed a few games. So we're playing a lot of Solomon Hill, Tony Snell, Cam Reddish.
Solomon Hill, another mention.
Nice blue guy, but he should not be one of our guys that we're relying on. So that, and then Lloyd Pierce, man, down the stretch in a bunch of games, it's just blatant coaching malpractice, bro. We're just I know everyone's a great coach from their couch, but it'd be easy ones. I think the main one
they weren't closing out games. They weren't closing out close games. And now you see the script flipped. script flipped it. What does that mean? Anyway,
I understood.
so Nate's done that, right? Like he's kind of shown them even when they're down 25, like we're still in this game, and that's something they probably want to have with Lloyd Pierce. So that's been kind of cool. One thing I wanted to ask Dez about, actually both of you about, and I'll probably chime in myself, but this is kind of a cool thing because we are the two teams that everyone always talks about on passing on Luka, right? And yet here we are in our respective conference finals with two of the guys essentially part of, if not leading with Trey, a part of leading them to that position. So no different than Luka. Obviously, Luka's Luka. Like we're not going to do the comparison thing. It just, I would like to hear both y'all's perspective on the fact that, yes, we did pass up on Luka, but surprisingly in year 3, we're both farther ahead, even though it took us maybe a little bit longer to get there. We've surpassed way ahead of where he is right now. So, Dez, if you want to speak with Aiden, because I mean, I want to talk about Aiden, but just give me that kind of perspective for now. We'll talk about the game later.
See, I got two sides of this. So the first side is that as we make this run, I very much want this to happen again, because if it's just a 1-year thing and we go back to where we were, like I'm going to be heartbroken, just like I've always been as a Suns fan.
Even if you get a ring? I'll be a lot less heartbroken. I'll be happy tears.
I'll be a little butthurt. I'll be a little butthurt if the next year we're just like done again. But to that point, when I look at Luka, I think the Mavericks suit him really well. Obviously, coming off Ayton last night, like I'm in love with the dude now. Like he is.
It was his coming out party.
Rebounding. Exactly. He's doing what he needs to do. I mean, I think in the third quarter, he already had his 20 and 10. So he can call Pops Chris Paul like, hey, I got a 20 and 10 again, right?
I did it without you, Dad.
And then like Chris Paul seems like that type of dad that's just like head pat. Like,
head pat.
Go,
all right.
Leave me alone.
Next game.
Go get me a beer.
Dez, are you foreshadowing right now?
He's just gonna be the coach, just like that really mean dad. Like, no, you're a disappointment to me unless you get your triple double. But yeah, man, that's my take on that. I don't know, Ro, what about you?
I feel like we have it's odd and weird worked out. So I don't know. It kind of somewhat validated this year with making the playoffs. I think the main thing that they've kind of realized is they know the exact pieces of it around. So like the floor isn't, I don't think it'll be as low as it was before ever again. Especially like the biggest thing about Nate is like everyone always talks about how he teaches or just chats with him about the different quarters and phases of the game and how differently you should run the team. And it seems like he's kind of, I don't want to say mastered it, but he's definitely a lot better at it. So I don't know. Again, after that first series, I'm like, we'll be fine for 10. Nice 10 years, at least like a max deal with 2.
Assuming no major injuries or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's kind of cool is both Nate and Monty have been coaches, and they kind of both don't have a reputation of they don't have winning reputation. So it's kind of it's cool to see them also grow in this playoffs. I know we've kind of talked about that a lot, but like it's hard not to. Like we're literally getting to watch things that we've seen Pop, we've seen Phil Jackson, we've seen guys who just kind of always had it and were winning right from the jump. And it's just like we are experiencing a different flow with these two coaches. Like they weren't always winning. Like we're getting to watch this live, and it's like a beautiful thing to see. And so the other thing I wanted to bring up was how Trey and Ayton have also kind of like for Trey, I give Trey a little more credit. He's had a lot of kind of hype and respect since last year. He's made an all-star, but his numbers have been great. Whether you hate him or love him, I mean, he is a very hateful guy, Ro. I'm sorry. I mean, you said it yourself. You weren't even bought in. So with Ayton's a lovable guy, but nobody freaking watched him, and nobody likes centers. So like the game 7 for Trey to suck and still hit that dagger 3 towards the end of the game and say, nah, I want this game 7. I want to be here. And then Ayton to get that freaking oop to put up the 20 and 10. Like, dude, finally, it's not fans that are watching. It's the casuals that finally get to see it. And I think that's a bigger speak to having these two teams in the playoffs is the fact that these guys, for the first time in their careers, get to put it on the biggest stage that basketball has. And now the regular fans who don't watch through the season, who only turn in for the playoffs, are like, oh, maybe this guy's good. Oh, maybe I will start watching a little more. Like maybe I do like Trae Young. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. What do you expect for game one, Ro? What do you expect for game one, Dez? Like, they're going up against the Bucks, and let's not forget, Giannis is just as hungry as everyone else. I mean, he has just as much, if not the most, to prove in the rest of this playoff. So, what do you like? What do you not like? I want to hear a little bit of matchups from your guys' perspective, and we'll go from there.
I mean, my first thought is who's going to guard Giannis. I mean, is it Collins? Like, I don't really know. You know, as
all right, let's tap into our Atlanta professional. Who do you
Bro, who's guarding Giannis?
The regular season, we had Collins guarding quite a bit. I think we dabbled a tad with Clint, but they have Brook Lopez, of course, so it's not. We literally can't really put John Collins on him. I mean, John Collins on Brook. I'm really interested to actually I think the key to the series for the Hawks is Bogdanovic. Like, if he's not at least 85 of what he normally is, it's gonna be it'll probably be a quick series.
Here's the question: do you let Giannis kind of just be Giannis and stop Middleton and Drew, or do you actually do the whole wall thing and try and get him off his game? And what do you think's the best move?
I feel like the wall is a must. I'm interested to see, does he go to any hack and Giannis techniques at all? Just knowing that it works so well with Ben. I think they did it a little bit in the regular season as well. But that, and then if we're not going to have, we're definitely not going to have a fully healthy Bogdanovic. So can Kevin Huerter average 18 or 20, 22?
I mean, Red Velvet.
We'll see.
Like one of the halfways. Because I think a lot of what we saw out of John Collins, like the first two series, he's not. I think he was basically guarding Julius Randle, him and DeAndre, and then last series he was just more or less the energy guy for us. Where it didn't necessarily look like he had big games, but a lot of the times, if it was a small let's say 14-8, it was an impactful 14-8. So what does he look like this series as well? Because we kind of know what we're gonna get from Trey probably, and the Drew Holiday matchup versus Trey.
I was just going to say that. Please, this whole time, Trey has been guarding cats that are not scoring the ball. So,
or putting him on the block. You and I had talked about this offline, Dez.
Exactly.
Drew is going to put him on the block, man.
I'm excited to see that matchup more than anything else because I love Drew Holiday. I love Drew. I'm excited to see what Trey will do against him because that dude's amazing.
You know what I was thinking about while you guys were talking is John Collins reminds me of Desi, if you've ever played against Desi on the basketball court. Because I'll tell you why.
I don't know if you've ever played, Ro. Yeah.
But I'll tell you why. So John Collins, you look at him, first of all, he's not the biggest guy, but then he outjumps everybody. Desi, definitely not the biggest guy, but he's just so annoying when he's on the court. He jumps with you, and you're like, dude, stop jumping with me. And then on top of that, you're like, John Collins not going to hit that three from the corner. If he hits it, he hits it. Desi pulls up these terrible shots. You're like, dude, why are you shooting that goes in? I remember playing a league. This was 10 years ago. This is IBM league. And me and Des we're playing against each other, actually, surprisingly. And it was literally the worst shot in basketball. One step behind the three, or one step in from the 3-point line. I'm like, why? He's not shooting that. Pulls. I'm like, swish, wet. I'm like, Desi, what are you doing, man? You're the worst. And then
I actually like that player comp.
Doing it.
I like that player comp too because he anytime that anyone passes me, you give him a little shuck.
Yeah, I was about to say, and he also wants to shuck back, same haircut almost. Oh gosh, Desi Collins, disgusting. So let's have a little fun. If people are listening, they know I like to chip in some fun on the court, right? So I got a topic for both of y'all. I'll give you a question. I'll give you time to kind of think it through here, and it's in theme with the rest of the playoffs. PJ Tucker.
So let's make sure that we get it.
Okay, PJ Tucker is sneaker king, and he's still in. All right. So I give this question to both of y'all. You can pick a brand to align yourself with shoes, and you can, employers aside, just whoever you think fits for you. And I want to know, what sneaker are you rocking on your debut? If you're in the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, and you can get a custom sneak from a previous game, and you have to have a brand on there, give me those three things. Ro, let's start with you. Since you do, for those listeners to get to know Ro a little better, he does work for the Swoosh. He don't rep it on our podcast, but he might have a little bit of bias there. I mean, if they want to sponsor the podcast, welcome Nike Life. But go ahead, just do it if you will.
Yeah, probably a little bit of bias. I love the Kobe 8, man. That was like the best shoe to me. I basically wore it until the sole came out of it. So I'm definitely going Kobe 8. And
who's your brand though? You have to have no. You have to have like someone selling a product on your shoe, essentially. Like how Paul George has the PlayStation 5s. Like I want a brand associated with that shoe. Like this is your playoff debut shoe, if you will.
I think I'm going with the fine people from Outshine Popsicles. I think that's the man. I love Outshine Popsicles, man.
This guy does eat popsicles after every Tasty Thursday. Man.
Actually, I'm taking that back. I'm going with American Deli in Atlanta. Great hot wing spot, man. That fits.
Okay, take it back local. So you're assuming you're on the Hawks, okay?
Small business.
Even if you're not on the Hawks, you still want them on there.
No, yeah, I'm still supporting the small business.
Okay.
I'm going with American Deli.
Shout out to them on the Kobe 8s.
Yeah,
Desi.
Man, I'm gonna sound like such a huge homer here.
Here it is.
Gosh. Yeah. I'm talking Book's shoe, man. For so many reasons. One, because like my daughter loves purple, so that's like the one thing that she focuses in on when we watch games.
So you're talking about that Kobe 5, right?
Yeah. So like I would definitely say those. I'm gonna sound like a huge homer, but I don't give a shit. This is our podcast. I can do whatever I want.
True. What's your brand that's on there, Des? You gotta pick a brand, and no, it can't be your own brand. We don't want that on there. No self pub on there.
Well, I'm out then, man. I can't get any shameless plugs here.
You don't want like the EGs. You don't want to be local supporting EGs on your shoe,
bro. I am not a fan. Side note, they are not. It's not that good. I don't know why everyone gets crazy about it, but whatever.
It's cool. Great rant.
Yeah,
people in Tucson are gonna argue with you.
Yo, I'm gonna go back to college here, man. I'm going no anchovies.
Okay, damn, y'all are local as hell. Think it's so small.
Yeah, no, that's pizza love, man. Let's go. What about you?
Okay, so my favorite shoe, like of all time to ever play in, was the 2012 Hyperdunks, specifically the Olympic colorway. So with that said, I'm rolling with the 2012 Hyperdunks, and I'm going to be super simple. I'm rolling with Audi as my sponsor because the rings can be on there, and it would look so swag.
That is
cool. And,
and
I'm going to get out. They're going to give me a car to roll with because y'all have your nachos or wings or pizza, whatever. I'm going to get the Audi. I'm going to be whipping in and out of that game with some swag, and I'm going to be rocking them in the shoes. So what's up?
I'm gonna throw this in there too. And if Anthony, if you're listening, man, I love you. I'm sorry. You'll give me shit about this later. I don't care. But the Reebok Iverson questions, I think that's what they're called, right? Those like off of the eBay magazine or the Eastbay rather.
Eastbay, yeah.
Eastbay. I used to always like, Mom, please let me get these. Please let me get these. Like I'm gonna say those because those look comfortable as hell. And after playing in them, you kind of play like your AI a little bit.
No, you carry yourself different on the court if you're wearing those. You really do.
You have to.
Montrezl Harrell hasn't played the same since he stopped wearing them.
Oh wow.
Trez.
Trez campaign. Wow.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 18, almost 19 minutes in. Let's get to last night because last night had a lot of things happen, right? First of all, shout out to legend Devin Booker. Now he's solidified. If you get a broken nose or a bloody nose in the game, guess what? The only other guy to do that for the Suns is Steve Nash. So go ahead and put that statue up. We'll go ahead and put both their faces up somewhere in the stadium or around the stadium. So that was dope, man. What did you think? Yeah. Did you think it was a nothing foul? And then we realized he really broke his nose, or like, I mean, honestly, I was like, oh, scratch on the nose, he'll be fine. And like, he's going back to the locker room. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I
mean, I think it was a weird contact foul. I mean, obviously the whole game, Pat Bev is playing aggressive defense. And so when he's reaching in, it kind of made sense with that happening at some point. So when it did happen, I didn't think, all right, side note, the amount of times that they went to the replay, it was driving me nuts.
A lot of
like,
media.
You guys are ruining momentum right now.
Ruining the game. Not even momentum, just watching the game.
The flow.
Horrible.
Yeah, the flow.
Yeah, and parts of it too, like it actually was an advantage to us because it gave us like 7 timeouts to discuss what we wanted
Monty had
to do.
0 timeouts and got free plays every time.
Yeah, right. So like that, I didn't think that it was aggressive or anything. Just unfortunate the way that it happened. But we talked about this last pod side. I'm not a huge Pat Bev fan, and I thought that the respect was mutual. But even towards the end,
I don't know. I think I take my words back.
I think so, man, because Pat Bev went to give him a like high five, and Book was like, "Fuck you,
yeah,
don't talk
you.
to me." Yeah. So I would say I didn't think that it was aggressive. It was just aggressive ass defense. That's the type of dude that you hate playing against. Like get the fuck off of me. But you gotta have ice in your veins to be able to just have your composure and still hit shots the way that he did.
I mean, he hit one of the more clutch shots in the game. Like if it wasn't for that stretch in the last minute where he came off and then Bridges before the Bridges out of bounds or the missed 3 to out of bounds play. Before that, we were down 2. He hits a shot, we go up 1, and Paul George responds and comes back and hits another shot. And I was like, oh man, this is. I was like, okay, there's like 9 seconds left. This is Dev's time. And then they double him. He dips to the corner. Bridges just misses a 3, but gets knocked out of bounds. And like, I was like, they're going to give the Clippers the ball back again, because I think that was the tip that they kept reviewing if it was out on DeAndre or not. And just the play before, they had overruled Pat Bev. First of all, since when is poking the ball out and you go to slow motion to see if the guy's hand is still on the ball? What the hell was that? You better hope they don't do that to the Hawks, okay? Because Scott Foster was in his bag last night. And for those who don't know, Scott Foster is the head ref for the Crew last night, and he's notorious. So I know I'm not the stat guy, but Chris Paul was like 0-12 with Scott Foster refereed games. Chris Paul led teams.
Change your handle. Dez N Cy. God.
So like that was some bullshit, but I will give credit down to the Clippers. Like, dude, they played a hell of a game, and every time they needed a 3 or a bucket, like they got it. So like I'll play the antagonist, if you will. I don't want to be super homer all the time, because the Clippers showed up. They showed out back-to-back games. They were tough in our stadium, and they almost got away with yesterday's win. If Paul George doesn't come back to true playoff form with playoff P, way off P, pandemic P, and misses back to. What's funny is I was watching the game. I'm like, fuck, man, he's got these free throws. He shoots the first one and like goes in the rim and kind of falls out. And I was like, okay, that's probably not going to happen again. They're definitely going to make the second one. And then the announcer said something funny. They're like, well, they got to secure the rebound because Pat Beverly will be flying in, and he's yada yada yada. And I was like, that's a good call. I mean, maybe, but yeah, whatever. Playoff P's here. He shed that name. He's gonna make this one. Clank. Maybe he had too much of Desi's core workouts, because he hit back iron like he was Devin Booker with that thing, man.
Dude, I feel for him, but then like he kind of seems like an asshole on the court. So I'm just like, all right, this benefits us, but
he gets away with a lot of left arm extensions, man. I mean, I understand. He big push off P over there.
No, man, it's true.
I think like you speak to Pat, like that game was Pat Bev's masterpiece last night.
Yeah,
like if that was
defense.
like the equivalent of Devin's triple double for him.
And it's interesting because Ty Lue, let's give credit to Ty Lue for that plug.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it was just like, it was really like a Nick Cannon drumline versus like the other guy he was going against. It was like if Devin was the main, was the lead drummer on the drum line. The rest, not Devin, excuse me. If Pat Bev was that guy, the rest were Nick Cannon. Where they were like, no, we're actually having this solo, bro.
Yeah, no, we're gonna help you out, but we're gonna take this game.
We're actually taking this game. You don't get to take the game. We'll do it.
Well, two offensive fouls to start the game for Dev is, come on, like, all right, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? And it was like the Terrence Mann one was straight up a basketball play, and he was in the circle. For those who didn't know or don't know what I'm talking about, there's a play where Dev gets the ball in the paint. He's on the block. He's back down. He does a turn and jumps as he's turning to rise to basically put the ball up. And as he's going up, he hits Terrence Mann in the face because he's right in his defensive position, and they call offensive foul. It was strictly a basketball play, and it's never a foul. If honestly, it should be a defensive foul because there's contact as he's going up, but that's another story. So
like, can we please discuss Cameron motherfucking Payne?
Well, hold on. That's why Roe's here, man.
That's
the real reason.
I never sold my stock. I never sold it.
Big investor
never sold it
in the campaign coin. Stock. You had the campaign coin? You had Cam coin?
I bought that stock. It might have been around. It might have dipped below. Like, I'm not sure what the limit is, but it was definitely a penny. And I threw about $1,000 at it. And
was this pre-bubble? Was this pre-bubble?
Literally pre-bubble. At one point, I'm like, I wonder where campaign is. And I looked him up, and he was like overseas. Like, he was going crazy.
Japan or something.
Yeah, he went to China. This is the equivalent of you seeing Bitcoin start to rise. You're like, oh, where's my digital wallet at? Like, what's the passward to that thing? Like, let me just check on it. Let me just see what's up in that.
He went from China to like G League. And then he averaged like 25, 30 in all of them. Yeah. And I'm like, why is he not getting a chance? And then I just look him up again. I'm like, he's in Suns camp? Duh.
Yeah.
Like,
where he was supposed to go, right? You know where he was supposed to go? Because he had joined the Texas Legends, if I remember correctly, for the G League team. So he was actually trying to get on Dallas. But Dallas had a similar situation with the Trey Burke thing because he was also out of the league doing similar things. So I think Trey Burke got signed before him, and he was again lost. And I don't know, the heavens arose, and Monty remembered campaign for some reason.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed the rebirth, man. Like last night, literally peaked. I literally peaked.
You know what's funny is so Alana is watching the game with me, and she's like, why do they keep letting him score so easily? Like it seems like pretty. And she, you know what? She plays basketball. We play co-ed, so she's not like completely out of the know for what's going on. But she's like, why? Like he does a front-facing scoop layup. Like why isn't no one blocking him? And I'm like, I honestly can't tell you why. I've watched this all season. I have no clue why no one stopped him. But he's done this for the entire year for us.
Dude, it's having grown up with the left-hander, shout out Ant. I've always thought to myself, like, I know how to guard a lefty. You just cut off their left and make them go right, even more so with right-handers. So it was interesting to me to see Paul George just take that bait on the right side, let him give a jab step and just take it. And I'm like, yo, are you not learning? Like it benefits us, but dude, he was on one. Like there was some masterful shots. Yeah, there's some shots that I was like, yo, you must have the confidence of the gods right now because you're just throwing up shots that I'm like, yo, okay.
I was scrolling through the gram and I saw Bleacher Report betting, and somebody put like $50 twice on him to be the leading scorer of last night's game. So they basically spent $100 and they made $9,000. And I'm like, well, that guy is that Jarreau? Is that Jarreau? Are those his?
Never
bets?
Sold his stock.
Never sold his stock, man. Futures. A lot of calls on him. A lot of calls on campaign, man.
Wait, last night, final play that Monty draws up. Did you guys find out just like me? Well, yeah, basically through the broadcast that there's no goaltending. Like,
great question. I'll let Dez go first.
Yeah, I personally knew that, having like ref the years that I had, because we were arguing about it in text chats as well. And I'm like, all right, so with that type of knowledge base, you're telling me that he could stand, so Jay Crowder could stand out of bounds and score from there, right? And they're like, no, like, well, there's your freaking answer. You can't do that, right? So I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that is a great way to justify or explain it.
You know what I mean? So it's like, great. I didn't even think about it, but it makes sense why people are like going crazy because it was in the cylinder. But it's not.
So I promise this was just random fate, right? I had literally watched the video of Dragon Bender doing the same play X amount of years ago to Tyson Chandler. And I was like, oh man, shout out to that trash team. Like I didn't think anything of it when I saw that video. I was like, oh, remember when Tyson Chandler was like kind of a decent center and like played for us? And then I was like, who is that inbounding Dragon Bender? Ugh. And so I'd seen that play. And so when it happened again, I was like, oh, this is just like this European.
This is a Suns play.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God, I've seen this. And so like, did I know the rules? No, but I had seen it already happen before for a game winner. So I knew that once it happened again, my thought was that we took too much time for some reason. Cause I mean, I don't know why, it just was scary to watch. But the thing that the casual fan may have missed was, how about that freaking check screen by Dev Booker to set up the lob, huh? You see that, man? He put some oomph in that screen, man. And it wasn't no little guy. Zubac is a big guy, man. He gave him some force, like, nah, man, I'm gonna clear you out for Ayton to come through and get this.
He had to load up. He had to load up real quick. It's like, oh, this is about to happen.
Yeah, and this might get like under the rug, but Crowder had a really tough pass. There's an awesome angle of a video I saw, and it's one of those shots when you're playing horse and you try and end it against your friend, where you're kind of behind the backboard and you shoot it and you hope it goes high enough to hit it. And then like, how do you shoot that? Well, he did the same thing for the pass. And dude, that pass could you get more on the money?
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you replay that 5 times, they don't. I don't think some doesn't hit, whether it's the screen doesn't hit perfectly, the pass isn't perfectly. Something's a bit off.
It all just ran the right way. And you know what? I think it was karma. It was karma for the Clippers for doing all that BS they've been doing the whole game. It was karma for Scott Foster. It was karma for the broken nose. You know, we had to, this was like, they call it a real grind out win. Well, does it get more grindier than that? No, I don't think so. I mean, again, Devin had a broken nose. Ayton had a coming out party. It was something. You know what else is crazy is Crowder and Bridges, who are starters, I think combined for less than 10 points. Like, we had a terrible game in retrospect. Like, Devin had 9 points going into the half or something like that. Yeah. Like, dude, what? Hold on. And we're getting Chris Paul back? And we're getting Chris Paul back.
Dude, please. I just want to expand on that. Let me play Captain Obvious for a little bit here. But E'Twaun Moore with the ball, bringing it up. I feel uncomfortable for him. The way that he's bringing it up and like just the way he dribbles, lack of confidence. Like, it's just when he brings it up, it's like one of those things where you're like watching a live show and it's like horrible. And you're like, oh, dude, like this does not look good right now. Like, you look nervous. Like, for any of us who have ever seen those horrible, horrible IGs of like people proposing to others and them saying no and getting that's what it looks like.
That's the feeling that E'Twaun Moore gives you, bringing the ball.
I'm just like, oh, dude, like, pass the ball.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm zagging on the E'Twaun take. I kind of don't mind it. And I think it's only because it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, when you play 2K and you go to your bench. At times when I play, I'll just sub in 5. But the thing is, when I sub in that 5, let's say like the throwback Clippers when they had like Jamal Crawford, I'm like, hey man, everyone else, we're just still in like 10, like a few minutes here for our starters to be ready. Someone else just carries on offense. E'Twaun, go make a sandwich while we do this. Stand in the corner. It'll be fine. That's how I feel about E'Twaun being on the court. You're literally just like, either whether it's Book or Cam, just take a quick break. E'Twaun, don't fuck this up, please. Just move.
We talked about it last pod, Dez. I would have rather had Carter get those minutes, but Monty disagreed. So it is what it is, you know. It's fine. E'Twaun Moore, shout out to you, but you look a little at loss. I mean, maybe if he plays again, assuming Chris doesn't come back,
maybe he needs more minutes too.
That's it. Maybe he's getting more comfortable with it. You know, like it is the Western Conference Finals. Like, your teammates are depending on you. It's a big deal. Like, let's not shy away from how, like, we're getting a little spoiled because Devin and some of the other guys, you know, this is their first playoff. They're kind of just acting like they've been here before. And we have to remember a lot of guys on the team haven't been here before. So let's give them a little bit of a break. So let's Dez, I know you had a topic, so go ahead, man. And you can finally try and get me back on one. Anthony, shout out to you. He was like, yo, man, stop picking on Dez. Stop picking on Dez. I was like, it's not picking on Dez. He can fire right back, man. That man is 35 years old. I can't pick on no 35-year-old.
You keep mentioning the damn freaking age, dude. All right,
hey,
so
I
got
have to
Ready?
let our listeners know, man. They need a timeline, and they need you at the end of that timeline. They need to realize where we're at here.
All right. So for listeners out there, Cy and I recorded our intro yesterday because we're going to throw some music on it. And I'm excited about it. I know, Cy, you are as well. So we did 3 different takes. And one of the takes, he mentions me being a geezer. And I honestly, I listened to it all 3 again. I'm like, I think I'm going to use that one because it's
yes.
So yeah. So for our listeners out there, you'll get to hear the intro. I think, Cy, I'll send them to you. I think we'll use that one. But all right.
Awesome.
So this is in memorandum of 3-on-3 being a new Olympic sport. Okay. Because we're basketball, we're culture, we're hip hop, we're all these other things. So I figured I would take that and I said, all right, look, I'm going to give you both a GM status of a 3-on-3 team. But the only people that you can choose for your 3-on-3 are hip hop artists. Who's your 3-on-3? Who's representing America?
I got mine. Mine are good. I got mine. I'm ready.
I know you're up.
Who wants to start?
Mine's easy. 2 Chainz, J. Cole, Quavo. Done.
All right, Ro.
See, I know I'm going.
He wasn't expecting that. I was ready. Because 2 Chainz, I'll give a little explanation. 2 Chainz and J. Cole played college ball. Mm-hmm. Quavo just a natural athlete, and we see what he did in all those games. But okay, if I take a step back before I'll give Ro some thinking time. If I take it back and I say no one who's played like college ball, now it's a little more challenging. So I need a showman and someone who is probably a guy that's going to bring some hype / get the crowd either for me or against me. So it's going to be Drake. He's got to be on there. Dude, I need a wild card guy.
Have you seen him?
Oh yeah, but like exactly.
I've seen him deadlift. I'm like, dude, your back is broken.
but you know what's great is whoever you're playing against, they're gonna hate. He's gonna be your Pat Bev, your Rondo, your the Trey. He's gonna be the show guy that like people are gonna either love or hate, and I'll take it. If I have to have an enforcer, it's gonna be like rest in peace, probably DMX, because he's your Dennis Rodman on the team. Like are you really gonna mess with DMX? He might bark at you. He might bite you. He's gonna get the rebound. I have a feeling that if DMX ever plays hoops, he's getting the rebound, right? And I need someone that can score. So that one I think is like the harder one, but I feel like maybe that one's tough. I'll come back to me for the last guy. Ro, go ahead.
All right. I'm ready. So Cole, favorite rapper. That's obvious. Cole has to be on there. It's kind of like LeBron fans asking who their first pick is going to be. Yeah. So got to go Cole. And then we're going to put Kanye on the team, man. We're putting Kanye on the team. I love Kanye. I love the old Kanye. I've seen videos of Kanye playing pickup. I enjoy it. So like, and that's going to give us a little bit of flash, a little bit of razzle dazzle. And then we're going to bring it in. We're going to get a little in the weeds right here for like deep hip hop fans. I'm putting Dave East on the team. I don't know if y'all know Dave East, who that Townsend.
A
bucket.
Beast.
He's a bucket, bro.
We said no college basketball players. Now you got to sub Cole and Dave East out.
Cole didn't play though. Cole actually never played. He never
went to Africa and played. You know what? I don't want to hear that.
He went to the final. He never went to the final trial. He tried out. He played high school ball.
He played in Africa just a few months ago. So,
yo, you know who I was going to throw in there when I was thinking about this?
Yeah, who's your 3, Dez?
So obviously, I'm gonna go with Cole. I'm gonna throw in the Game.
Oh, great pick!
I've seen that dude play in Rucker Park. Like that's the dude you don't want to fight. So he has everything, and I'm pretty sure he had a look from Washington that he just never went because.
He's also like 6'6" or something crazy.
Yeah, and he's someone that you don't want to mess with. So I'm gonna go with him, obviously, and then I was gonna go with Quavo, just because I like the way that he plays. But if we're going people that did not go, I guess, get looks from colleges. If you've ever seen the video of Schoolboy and Kendrick going to Rams practice and running routes,
yeah. You want both of them on your team?
I want both of them on my team, dude. I could watch them. My brothers and I were talking about this. Like, I could watch this footage all day.
That feels like Nico just actually does watch that all day.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, Dez, Anthony, Dave, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. You guys are like, all right, fine. And then finally when you watch it, you're like, okay, God. All right, Nico, you're on to something.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it super West Coast. Those are my three: Game, Schoolboy, and Kendrick.
My last guy would be Wale. All right, just he just got some cool to him. He probably is like
he probably is a G.
He's probably kind of nice, You just don't know though. Like
he don't want to show you, but he'll cross you up.
So nobody wants Logic for the record. Nobody wants Logic on their team. Okay,
Next topic.
Hey, wait, real quick, Ro. You've seen Joe Budden videos of him playing ball. Are you want him on your team? I think I give him a bucket, low key, man.
It's hilarious to me that he's
so
like
bad.
A stretch 5. He's a stretch 5 at 6 foot.
He's more like a pull 5. Like I pulled my muscle at them playing the 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's two mentions of Joe Budden on the podcast. I think like I have a quota, like 5 for the next 10 episodes. So like, all right, I got 2 out. So I think Dez, you got to cut me off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somehow we've mentioned him every pod.
I'm sorry.
And I don't really know why. This is kind of your fault, actually.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I have a guest that knows why. So he,
it was a time.
It was a time.
Yeah.
It's ended. It's now ended.
Yeah. I actually have a topic for you guys, though.
Okay, let's move into it. Great.
Let's go.
Yeah. It basically involves Hawks and Suns, which is fitting.
Sweet.
In wake of the lottery, what was your worst lottery experience / draft night as a fan? Because mine is, surprisingly, it's not the Luka night. That's not the worst one.
That's not mine mine either. Okay, I'll let Dez. You want me to go, or you want to go first?
Yeah, go. I'm gonna have to think. Worst lottery.
I think
we've had a bunch of them.
So my buddy Ra is gonna hate this answer, and Ra, shout out to you, DC Sportscast. What's up, man? I hated with a passion the Alex Len draft pick night.
Oh, yeah.
You knew right away.
You know who's in that draft? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Don't act like you knew who he was back then.
Exactly. But
who's
Alex Len?
We knew Alex.
The big man out of Maryland. What the hell? That was the time. Hold on. That draft. You know why it pissed me off in that draft? Is because that was literally the moment within NBA time frame, if you will, when every team realized that they don't really need a center. Like people are trying to move on to the 3-ball, a faster paced game. The Warriors kind of set up this whole game plan of what you can do. If you don't have a LeBron, you need to kind of basically shift the style of gameplay you have. And what did the freaking Suns do? Go get a 1985 center that isn't going to finish around the rim, doesn't have the greatest hands and feet. He's just big. Like, what the hell were we thinking? Oh my God, I'm so mad.
Too.
Yeah,
he really enjoyed getting dunked on. I've seen some.
Hey, he was on your squad, so you know he came to the Hawks.
Really,
that
kind of let me know that Trey was like
better than you thought.
Good, but like the way he made Alex Len look on offense and pick and roll, bro, like he legit.
He got Alex Len signed to the Wizards because of playing in Atlanta.
Yeah. Desi, do you have yours? If not, I have mine.
No. Well, Alex Len, because the first person I thought of was during the years of like, I don't know. What are they? The dark years, right? That's the way I'm going to look at it. So Alex Len actually steals it for me. But the person I was thinking about was Markieff. Because those are just the years we're just like, we don't really have a whole lot. And at the same time, like, let me just go ahead and just pick someone up. Kansas did well. So like here, I don't know which brother you are, but yeah, come on our team.
Also, you're probably the worst brother. So naturally we'll pick you. Like,
God, I Alex Len definitely steals it. I forgot about Alex because I hated him so much. That's a good question. Ro, who's yours?
Marvin Williams. And it was a thing where I'd watched.
Did you say Monty Williams?
Oh, Marvin.
Oh, I was like,
I'd watched.
Okay. Marvin Williams. Yes. Okay.
So coming into that draft, I'm like, now this is where I'm at as a big Kobe guy, but I'm like, still like, I kind of need to see something from the Hawks. I would like to see something from the Hawks. I'm like, dude, we got Josh Childress. We got Josh Smith. Like, we got some pieces here. That alone is nasty in itself. But I'm like, if we could just get a point guard, like this would. And I'm like, okay, Darren Williams is coming out this year. Chris Paul is right there. And I see Chris Paul go on a run in the NCAA tournament. I'm like, he's about to be a dude.
Yeah.
So then we pick Marvin at 2. I'm like, why are we drafting another? We literally don't need another forward. Guess who our point guards at that time?
Oh,
I couldn't tell you.
Tyronn Lue and Royale Ivy, who is now the Nets assistant.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, nope, we're good. We're
yeah. We're going to roll. These guys are going to definitely get us there.
Yeah. Pass it, Chris
oh, my God.
And
if it makes
is he still in the league?
Who?
Marvin Williams.
No,
is he still in the league?
No. But okay. I would have loved to have him at 3. I mean, he went 3, and I think Chris went 4.
You know what? If it makes you feel better, as an Arizona fan, we felt a little bit of the same pain when it comes to Chris Paul. Is the 1-2 guards coming out of high school were Chris Paul and Mustafa Shakur. And so who comes to Arizona? Mustafa Shakur. So like, you're not mad about it. You're like, oh my God, we got the one, like potentially the best point guard in the nation. We're definitely getting to a Final Four. And the first year he definitely showed out, and well, the rest is history. We know where Chris Paul is, and we know where Mustafa Shakur is. So shout out to you, bear down. But we feel your pain in that one. Yeah, that one sucks. But I like this trend that we're on, and I like the theme that we got going on. So I have one more for you on just off the top of my head, and a little inspo from Taylor. So shout out to Taylor. Shout out to all of our friends, by the way, that listen and support us and like and subscribe and all that.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of our listeners. What up, guys?
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. But like, if you can start to spread it to your networks too, it would help us out. And we want to grow this thing and get some more topics in here. So with the realm of looking back with respect to your favorite teams, keeping your squad as is right now, you can pick one player from your history and you can bring them in, and they are on your team for the Eastern or Western Conference Finals. You get to plug one guy from any Phoenix team, any Atlanta team. Who do you go with and why?
So I think the easy answer will be Dominique Wilkins. But I feel like Dominique is literally someone, imagine like an old person or who lived in like the 70s and 80s coming into the world right now. And just something as small as like, here's a cell phone. They'd be like, I don't know what to do right now. Like, Meek would be trying to dunk on everybody. He wouldn't have any type of jumper. Like, it actually wouldn't work with the team. We got John Collins for that. I would actually like ISO Joe to be brought back, man.
Oh, okay.
Prime Joe Johnson right now on this team.
So naturally, really I have a response for whoever you give, Dez, and I'll give that to you as well. But for you, Ro, I like your pick. I have a different guy in mind. I have primetime Jason Terry on your squad.
Wow.
Off the bench, because he's that like 3-point threat that you got, like the consistent 3-point threat that you guys are actually kind of missing. If you think about it. Like, I know Atlanta's got shooters, but like, and Trey takes tons of shots, and sometimes they're threes and sometimes they're not. But I was watching that whole series last game, and you guys don't depend on the 3. And to add that to this squad, that's a whole new dynamic that keeps the floor open and spreads guys on the defensive end, that allows a lot more driving lanes and again, passing lanes, because Terry can move off the ball really well. We all know, actually, if you ever watched basketball, he didn't ever shoot off the dribble, or he was a big catch and shoot guy, move off screens, yada, yada, yada. So that on that Hawks team, and Nate McMillan could tap into that. I think I would love that. I love the ISO Joe too, because ISO Joe, you need a closer, and I think with him and Trey, you get 2 closers, and it'll feel like a Chris Paul and Booker situation. So I respect that. I like that too. Dez, what you got for me? You got so many good guys to pick from.
I know.
I mean, both of you do, but
all right. So I would love to pick Charles, but I would love to pick Amari. I'd love to pick the Matrix, Steve Nash, but like, I feel like we have some good pieces right now. The only person I want to throw in there for defensive reasons is Dan Marley.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going back to Rajah Bell.
No. Dan Marley. I'm going to throw Dan Marley in there. I don't care if you come off the bench or if we need someone to lock someone down. I'm going to throw Dan freaking Marley in there.
I cannot believe you.
He has all the sons. He has all the sons.
You named 3 Hall of Famers.
I know.
And like Too
all right. So if I did Amari, like, am I sitting DeAndre right now? Like, I don't know if I want to do that. If I put Steve in there, like, am I sitting CP right now? Like, I don't know if I want to do that. Same thing with like the only thing that makes sense is like Charles Barkley. Yeah, you're right. But I'm talking right now with the way that we are. Like, I would love a defensive stopper. I would love someone who I know, like, all right, this is our version of Drew Holiday. Go lock him down. So you're right. You're right.
Can't believe
really okay.
I'm probably going the Matrix. I'm going with Marion because he can guard like basically 1 through 4.
He can guard in today's game 1 through 5.
1 through 5, yeah.
I mean, give or take some centers, but for the most part, yeah. I'll give you a random pick. I kind of just like it for more so what it brings not on the court would be I would plug Grant Hill into this team. Why? Because on the second unit, Grant Hill could do a lot of damage. He can guard most guys on the second unit, assuming he's healthy. And I do have a medical thing I want to talk to Dez about. Maybe Ro can chime in on this as well, and it's related to the Suns. But I would roll with Grant Hill because he could shoot the three, he could drive. He's a guy that could get his own veteran leadership. He keeps the poise on the second unit when things might get a little crazy. Because like last night showed that when you don't have Dev or Chris, and now for relevancy's sake, Cam Payne on the floor, things kind of got a little messy. Like Sarge, he plays like a little out of his element at times, and you hate it. But then when he does the right things, you love it. And a guy like Grant Hill on that second squad would just like, hey, come on, play a game. Let's do what we do. Let's get these buckets and play defense and yada yada yada.
Bro, let me nerd out a little bit. Grant Hill was sports nutrition before it was cool. I remember a long time ago, interviews and whatnot, he had talked about like, all right, how did you revitalize your career? He's like, nutrition. And so I remember hearing that like, all right, that makes sense. So he would talk about what most guys do away from the arena, like fast food, stuff like that. So like, yep. I think the man was invested in that long before it was cool to even hire a sports dietitian. So dude, I like that pick.
You segued into exactly what I want to talk about. So like, this is a thing I actually really want to hear your perspective on. And it's folks that go to Arizona, even in football actually, but specifically let's keep it on basketball, is a lot of guys come to Arizona later in their career, like Grant Hill, Vince Carter, Chris Paul, like big names that stick out, and tons of other, even Steve Nash, like he was kind of mid-tier career and wasn't considered super healthy when he was in Dallas, and that's why him and Dirk didn't really get it to the finals. Let's speak, or maybe you can speak to this, is what does Arizona and what does Phoenix do differently than some other franchises that we are able to revive people's careers and actually keep the longevity of these players and kind of showcase that maybe their prime is we are going to get 1 or 2 more years out of it? Because it looks like Chris Paul, this whole year he was healthy. When Grant Hill came here, he was way healthier than people imagined. Even Vince Carter was still dunking on people's heads when he came here at 30 plus. So is it like the sun? Is it the weather? Like, I don't know. Is it nutrition? Go ahead, Dez. This is your time.
All right, so you kind of just stole my thunder with that first one, man. So like, obviously, it's definitely the medical teams, but Ro, you can probably attest to this living where you live, dude. I'm telling you, the sun is a freaking magical thing. Most people, sort of in their life, are usually vitamin D deficient. Most people. I don't know the stats right now, but vitamin D synthesis and vitamin D absorption is so damn important towards mental health, your performance. So I feel like get a really good medical team behind them that has a sports dietitian, obviously athletic trainers, like that's all going to play a role. But I do think that there's something about calming your nervous system living in a place like this. Like there has to be something. And if you can calm the nervous system, then you can keep cortisol at bay, like that stress hormone, which is going to be inflammatory. So I think that there's a lot to the sun. I mean, you took my thunder with the first one.
My bad. I didn't know.
Man. It's calming. It's calming. I mean, Ro, like obviously you live in Portland. I most of the times that I've been there, like there has been sun, but I have not been there for multiple weeks where you're I don't even know where this thing is.
Spoiled. Yeah. You were spoiled when you came out here.
Also, Ro, you're a college athlete. Like you have ran in different climates and weather and stuff. Like maybe you can speak to that and maybe you can give us some perspective as well for that.
I mean, growing up in Atlanta, of course, and then I went to school and ran track in Louisiana. Like I always especially like for something where it's, to me, if it's, I was a college sprinter, so I've always reverted to like more sun, the hotter, the better. If I can train outdoors, the better rather than training indoors. So I don't know. I think I would definitely say like, I'm kind of with you on the sun. I can't think of anything further though, because I feel like a lot of it, it really just comes down to your own personal maintenance. Like for me, when I was in college, after my freshman year, I stopped drinking during the season for track. That's basically when I got really good. So I think a lot of it just kind of comes down.
Oh my God! Hey, Luca, if you're listening,
God, yeah. So I would just like shut it down. From, like,
one of my buddies,
January to May.
One of my buddies was like, "Yo, man, if you were a super millionaire at 21 years old, like, what would you be doing?" I was like, "All right, you're right. You're right. I can't hate on him, but at the same time, he's been playing professional basketball, and I'm sure he drinks a little too much. So maybe if he laid off the booze a little, we'd see another. You know, that's crazy. Is think about it. If he lays off the booze for a little, we might see another level of Luka, and that's kind of insane to think about.
Wait, do we know that he does that?
We're just assuming he's boozing and cruising, man.
Assume,
yeah, he's 21. He lives in a fun place, and he's the man. So yeah, I would assume so.
Because and what's the case? Like, what is your sell to get him to not do it at this point? You know, like what's like the use case for it? Like,
hard to tell him not to. He's like, yo, I just dropped 40 and I was drunk. Like, what do you want me to do, man? So
I don't know. You put him around the greats. Like, I don't know. You get him the type of mentorship where, I mean, we talked about this.
We talked about it
at the second pod, right? About like whether Book went out and partied that night.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. It didn't look like he did. He just had a bad game, but last thing with some health before we have to wrap up here is a fun little segment with the end of the game. I don't know if you saw this, Dez, but Boogie Cousins shoves Dev. Shoves him.
Just like
Dez, he barely moved, man. My man's core strength is off the chain. You were not wrong when you were telling us about that, yo.
Trains, man, I'm telling you.
That boy's a brick wall down there. He was like, I just thought it was funny. I was thinking about it when dude, you know what sucks is now I'm watching the game looking for stuff. I'm like, oh, what does Desi think here? Like, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
He just pushed it. His core strength must be crazy. He must have got that nutrition and sleep last night. Desi would be so proud.
He kept that core tight. Glutes were engaged. Like, you can't move me, dude.
So now you know if Trey getting pushed, you know, actually shout out to Trey. He did those push-ups when Dwight Howard ran him over. And I was like, okay, Dez would be proud, man. He would be looking out for you right there.
Oh, Trey, man. I'm looking forward to the matchup between him and Drew. I feel like Drew's going to lock him down, but Trey surprised me. He surprised me all through this whole playoff run. So
he's a gritty guy.
We'll have to see.
Really gritty.
He is.
I think I'll give it. I'm honestly it's a fill out game, especially I think more so for the Hawks than
the Hawks have nothing to lose, man. Nothing.
Yeah.
They're not expected to win. So that's like when the pressure's off, you can just kind of play basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we get I like to call Chris Middleton trick or treat. So it just depends on which one we get. If we get the trick Chris Middleton, then like
what a great
we
name.
might have ourselves
That's
a
so
little
true.
It's so true. Game 7 Middleton was treat or was that trick? Which one's good?
No, the treat is
okay.
Like 38-point Chris Middleton.
Okay,
We're like, God, is Chris Middleton?
So
like,
game 4 and 5, he was tricking.
NBA?
He was tricking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, that's peak playoff trick, Chris Middleton for sure. Yeah,
I can't not think about that now when I watch him play.
You know, so I don't know if any of us to like Ryan Rustillo pod. He calls Paul George the 30 or 13 guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Chris is like the 8 or 28 guy because his deal is way lower.
I love the trick or treat name. That is amazing.
Like, cool, but if he has 28, you're like, wow, Chris. All right, well, Chris Middleton. Like, we won't count on you to do it again tomorrow, but it could happen like 2 games from now.
Yeah. Well, that's dope, man. We're coming up on about an hour. I think we should probably wrap things up. Desi, I'm giving you a chance.
Get the IGTV.
Yeah, you got a 24-second shot clock for Roe. This is your time to go.
Oh man.
Oh, I didn't even have anything prepared. Hold on. Damn. Hold on.
Oh, this guy, man.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. All right. 24 shot clock. Hawks. Who I'm gonna go 3-on-3 theme. Who are the 3 people that you want to see in the dunk contest from the Hawks? And who do you think is gonna win? You got to place them first, second, and third.
You have 24 seconds starting now.
You got to go. We're going with Josh Smith.
5.
Dominique. No, Vince Carter at second. Dominique wins it.
10 seconds.
Wait, that's my 3.
That's his 3. He already did first, second, and third.
He's 7 seconds or less Suns over here. What's he doing, man?
Ball movement, man. Ball movement, quality shot. Ball movement, quality shot.
Meanwhile, Desi will take forever over there. He's like, he's at 20 seconds. He finally processed the question.
We're kind of spoiled though. Like we've had quite a few guys.
You guys have had some swaggy nuggets, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're at an hour.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on. Ro, before we let you go, give me a final score. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with 102-98. Hawks still game 1.
Woo! Desi,
Nice.
Does Trae Young go for 30? Over under? What you got?
I'm gonna go with under. I got faith in Drew Holiday, man. I love the way he plays. So I want to see this. Have him prove me wrong.
And I think Giannis has a monster game, and I agree. I think Hawks steal game 1. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. We are probably going to have one more episode this week, and then I am going to be on vacation, so we probably won't record till next week. I think we're going to try and get Ro on here for a little more of the series with the Hawks and Bucks, give that perspective, have some East Coast bias, and somebody can talk to another team other than the Suns. But again, thank you so much for everyone that is liking, listening, wherever you get it. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on Anchor, Spotify. I got the YouTube up. So wherever you like to listen or watch stuff, or if you're bored, throw us on, help support your friends. Because, you actually know us. You don't know those celebrities you be following. So, help us out a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Suns in 4. Yeah. We're still on track, baby. Suns in 4.
Let's go.
Dez. Let's go.
Let's go.